its report coming up this morning, Economist Intelligence Unit advises government to go into negotiations with private creditors or Eurobond holders with tact, since the creditors would demand complex restructuring terms. Also coming up, government's quest to continue reducing inflation to hit 15% may be under threat. We'll tell you why. Plus, small and medium enterprises advised to have good operational policies to protect erosion of working capital as government takes steps to reform the economy. Details coming up. My name is Darryl Kwao. Thanks for joining us, everyone. Hello to our friends listening from Kofi Radio on KTU Radio. The Economist Intelligence Unit is advising government to go into negotiations with private creditors or Eurobond holders with tact, since the creditors would demand different and complex restructuring terms compared to bilateral creditors. The UK-based firm says it has doubts whether negotiations with the private creditors will be concluded by half-year 2024. Finance Minister Ken Ofori-Atta has said that the government will begin negotiations with Eurobond holders and commercial creditors seeking 40% haircut. But speaking on the Africa Outlook 2024, principal economist Benedict Craven said it is difficult to negotiate with private creditors.
The G20 Common Framework for Debt Treatments has been adopted by 4 sovereigns in Africa already who are restructuring their foreign debt. But the procedure has had a difficult test run. This is its first proper trial. Chad successfully concluded a treatment under the framework, but had a fairly small creditor pool. For those with a more complex creditor profile, like Zambia and Ghana that you mentioned, Pat, there have been setbacks at pretty much every stage of the restructuring process. And it doesn't seem like either country will be able to conclude talks before mid-year. Our real concern here is on the optics, or the messaging that all this delay sends out to other sovereigns at high risk of debt distress. Now, Zambia and Ghana will establish some precedents that can speed up the early stages of negotiations for any new default. But there are lots of fundamental disagreements that remain among various creditor groups, official versus commercial, and among official creditors themselves, and these are bound to reappear, potentially leaving economies in limbo for lengthy periods if they go down the common framework route.
Benedict Craven there, he's principal economist at the Economist Intelligence Unit. Government's quest to sustain inflation rate reduction in coming months will hit 15% by end of year may be under threat. It follows reports some commercial transport operators are working to increase fares from Monday. Here's George Affe with more.
The Ghana Revenue Authority will in the coming days start enforcing the 5 new tax acts. Key among them is the VAT Amendment Bill, which may result in motor premiums going up by more than 30%. Now, this may force transport operators to also adjust fares, which may end up increasing the cost of foodstuffs that are transported to the market. This could also result in the cost of living going up, which may impact on inflation rate. This because the Ghana Statistical Service recently indicated that if government wants to check inflation rate, it may have to focus on reducing the cost of foodstuffs on the market. December inflation rate currently stands at 23.2%, but there's another development that could impact inflation rate badly going forward. That is the VAT on utility tariffs. Joy Business is also learning that due to these developments and threat to inflation rate rising, the Bank of Ghana could be forced to freeze any significant reduction in the policy rate, a move that might go a long way to increase the cost of credit. Some have argued that if government is really committed to reducing inflation rates in the coming months, then maybe it might have to hold on to some of these taxes taking effect in the coming days.
George, I feel with that report. Now, the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry has urged its members to embrace value addition in the operations to stay relevant this election year. According to the chamber, engaging members on the numerous opportunities in the economy despite its associated challenges is critical for the sustenance of their businesses. Speaking to Joy Business, Greater Accra Regional Chairman of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Nana Ajinim Boateng, said this meeting will position members to stand out among other competitors.
Every election year, government has big appetite to spend. And with that big appetite, is a good opportunity for the private sector to also do what? Grow. That is, there will be more jobs, that is purchasing, there will be more contracts, and whatever you can think of, product services that government will acquire, because government is the biggest buyer in the economy. And as such, this meeting is important for us to position our members to take advantage of that big appetite of government. So for us, today's meeting was to really dwell on value proposition. And value proposition is all about we preparing our members to differentiate their products and their services from the competition.
Greater Regional Chairman of the Ghana National Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Nana Ejinim Boateng. Now, Senior Manager, Accounting Advisory Services at KPMG, Stephen Birchie, is urging small and medium enterprises to set up operational policies that would safeguard their working capital. According to him, this would help small businesses maintain their working capital and give them good credentials that could aid them in acquiring loans from banks and other financial institutions.
Again, because they have limited funds and they are SMEs, they don't have track records that suppliers or banks can leverage or rely on to give them money if they want. And that has been a challenge. If you are managing your working capital, you should have a policy in place. And you should assign roles and responsibilities to people who are you assigning to. Then they should ensure that the policies are being operationalized. Now, as I spoke about components of working capital, so the strategy should be also aligned to each of them.
Senior Manager, Accounting Advisory Services at KPMG, Stephen Birchie, speaking on the marketplace as part of our Joy Business Advisory series. That conversation continues this afternoon at 2 on the Joy News channel. Now, Ghanaians can now conduct international financial transactions directly in cities using their Visa cards. This cuts down costs whilst expanding financial inclusion. Previously, the public needed to convert cedis to other currencies for international transactions. This new development, facilitated by Visa and Ghana Interbank Payment and Settlement System GIPS, will eliminate the need for currency exchange and will simplify cross-border payments. Vice President and Head of Visa West Africa, Andrew Oboy, spoke to Joy Business.
We have well over 6 billion cards across the world, and we've built capabilities in over 200 markets. And we all have relatives that live in different parts of the world that want to send money either to us or even to our other family members in more remote parts of our countries. What this partnership can do, or what Visa can do, leveraging the partnership and the technology that we have, is that funds can be pushed from anywhere in the world into a Visa card. And now once those funds get into those Visa cards, those cards that fund can now be used either domestically or it can be used as cross-border. So the capabilities of an international card, they can now shop online.
Okay, heading next to Investor Eye today. Don't give your bank account details or personal details to anybody just because you are promised huge and unrealistic returns on an investment. Let's listen to Senior Manager in charge of Risk Management Department at the Securities and Exchange Commission, Zakaria Haruna Baba.
One thing people should look out for, somebody's running business. You don't know who is running that business. What it tells you is that, you invest. Somebody say, bring 100 cedis, invest 100 and get 2,500 in the poster with 30 minutes of trade. You get this percentage. I mean, it's good to be true. It's too good to be true. You get me? Mm-hmm. So, people should be careful in giving out their bank account numbers, their Momo account numbers, their credit card numbers to the so-called cryptocurrency traders. Like Mr. Mensah said, this is not nice, it's not regulated in Ghana. So if you are dealing with such people, they are mostly foreign companies or foreign platforms they use. And you don't know people who are behind these platforms, you see. So it's actually a warning.